Working with the Nigerian government to end the genocide is like working with the Third Reich to end the Holocaust.
Okay, I'm about to introduce a hero. His name is Mike Arnold. He's made 16 trips to Nigeria, some under level 4 do not travel warnings. He founded the Africa Arise International, which today runs schools for more than 600 displaced children in the camps that the Nigerian government says doesn't exist. He's a former mayor of Blanco, Texas. And he is the author of Epicenter, Nigeria, Radical Islam and the War for Global Order, a #1 bestseller on Amazon. Mike.
Thank you so much. Everything I'm about to say is factual, so I have 19 pages of references. If anybody wants to question anything I say, it's right here, because some of it might be shocking. Nigeria, the 6th largest nation on earth, on track to be the 3rd largest by 2050. Top 5 OPEC, $1 trillion in minerals, a cultural powerhouse. Nigerians are among the most educated and wealthy in the United States, and they do it with integrity, sharing the values that made America great. Last year, General Michael Langley, AFRICOM, declared the region anchored by northern Nigeria as the epicenter of global terror. ISIS, Al-Qaeda, others call it home. Their stated ambition, full Sharia across Nigeria, and then a global jihad launch pad. The recent Old Dominion shooter was radicalized in Nigeria. Two scenarios. America's greatest African ally, innovative, peaceful, and prosperous, or the greatest security threat of the next generation, a Sharia exporting giant. A little bit of history. In 1804, Usman Dan Fodio waged a jihad and founded the Sokoto Caliphate, Africa's largest pre-colonial empire. Beheading, raping, destruction, displacement, 2 million slaves at its peak. This caliphate has never ended. That's North Nigeria. The British found two worlds, brutal Sharia North and vibrant, friendly South. They kept the caliphate intact as enforcers, indirect rule they called it, then merged the two in 1914. The South declared independence in 1967, Biafra. The civil war that followed, the British backed the North, which blockaded the South, shot down Red Cross planes. Up to 3 million, mostly children, starved to death. The South fell in 1970. Since then, power has stayed in the North by design, the caliphate. The current constitution, imposed by northern military dictator, mentions Sharia and Islamic terms 165 times. Christianity, 0. At least $9 billion a year in blood minerals are looted mainly by China, paying jihadis and corrupting military and political officials. It was President Goodluck Jonathan in his living room that leaned in and informed me about that. I know a lot of people there. I've been there a lot. Most of this is firsthand. Some key people that have been involved in this. Barack Obama unleashed the current genocide. In 2010, my first trip, Nigeria had an accidental Christian president, Goodluck Jonathan. Booming economy, only nation on earth where radical Islam was being pushed back. No slaughter, hardly any displaced people, just from random stuff. Northern warlord challenged Muhammadu Buhari, publicly called for Sharia law across Nigeria and globally. Boko Haram chose him to mediate with the government. Tinubu helped get him in office, the current president. David Axelrod was his campaign advisor. Obama blocked U.S. counterterrorism support to Jonathan, blocked other nations from helping. Jihadists flooded in from North Africa, villages massacred, millions displaced, raped, enslaved, kidnapped, churches burned. Buhari ran on ending the insecurity. It only got worse. Another person, the Sultan of Sokoto. He's like Pope and King to 108 million Muslims. Dan Fodio's 20th generation successor. He was a Nigerian general deployed to Pakistan and Afghanistan during the War on Terror when we captured Nigerian fighters alongside Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. He returned and assumed the throne in 2006, and international terror tactics and organizations appeared soon after. He has never decreed an end to the killing or mineral looting in his domain, but he's called social media a terror organization. In 2025, he publicly supported the push for Sharia in traditionally Christian southern states. President Bola Tinubu, if that's his real name. In 1993, he forfeited $460,000 to a federal court in Chicago and fled the United States. That was proceeds from a heroin trafficking ring, which, by the way, heroin funds 37% of jihad around the world. He has appointed a man to rewrite the national curriculum whose defining credential is the book, The Islamization of Knowledge, which explicitly calls for intellectual jihad to oust Western education from nursery schools up to universities. This is academic Boko Haram by definition. And this is the guy that Tinubu put in charge of the curriculum of 50 million African Nigerian children. His new defense chief called the terrorists prodigal sons who deserve rehabilitation. That's the defense chief. NSA Nuhu Rabadu personally called me on October 5th to be Nigeria's Jane Fonda. It is documented he armed Miyeti Allah, the Fulani militia chaired by the Sultan and named in HR 7457 for potential FDO organization. He has publicly called the terrorists brothers. Mossad Bulus, Trump's senior advisor for Africa and the Middle East, holds multiple citizenships, including Nigerian, lived in Lagos for decades. He parrots verbatim talking points of terror-linked northern imams. He is CEO of his family company, which currently profits from multi-billion-dollar no-bid contracts issued by the Tinubu administration, issued to his business partner. He sells the heavy equipment to build the no-bid $13 billion in projects. This is Trump's senior advisor. He's also Tiffany Trump's father-in-law. Examples of ongoing failures and impunity. Ingoshe, Borno State, wiped out in the Goza massacre of 2014. The government recently assured refugees in Cameroon it was safe for them to return, paid them to return. Within weeks, on March 3rd, Boko Haram slaughtered dozens, more than 300 abducted into slavery, including the wife and daughter of a friend of mine. The military was largely AWOL. The attacks continue there. Deborah Samuel Yakubu, 2022, college student. After finals, she posted on WhatsApp, "Jesus is the greatest. He helped me pass my exams." The next day on campus, as professors and police watched, she was beaten, stoned, tires heaped on her, and burned alive, while students filmed selfies in front of the flames celebrating. The deputy imam of the National Mosque, who performed President Buhari's daughter's wedding, publicly justified the killing within 24 hours on his own Twitter account. No one was punished. Nnamdi Kanu, British Nigerian broadcaster from London, illegally abducted from Kenya, tried under a defunct law, now serving life in Sokoto prison for words spoken in Great Britain. Meanwhile, the northern imam just recently offered a 1 million naira bounty for the head of a pastor, then doubled it to taunt his critics. No charges, no condemnation from officials. I've been corresponding with the guy. He helped him get to a safe house, but he and his family are in danger and they need help. The Nigerian government goes to great expense to rehabilitate the killers, while millions of innocent displaced victims are denied, neglected, and dying. The narrative war. The farmer herder and climate change framing started in the Obama State Department. The original reference document was written by a career Sharia propagandist hired by George Soros. At least $10 million confirmed U.S. lobbying contracts are now running. Former Trump administration officials, Nigerian government lobbyists, northern imams, foreign agents, conflicted advisors, and now even Russian state television are among those working to shield this regime from accountability. The real narrative is this: Nigeria is in the throes of an Islamic conquest. Since 2009, they have slaughtered as many as 125,000 Christians and 60,000 Muslims. This is not simply a religious freedom issue. This is national and global security. The emergency: as many as 10 to 12 million, mostly youth, are now displaced. 50 to 60% chance of radicalization by 2030 without intervention. Most are denied by the government, who call them beggars and criminals. Without intervention, this could yield 5 to 6 million more jihadists over the next 5 to 6 years. Intervention is not hard. The international community has the money and the mandate to help if the displaced are simply recognized. In 2015, the UNHCR documented multiple displacement camps in Abuja. Today, they deny those camps exist. I have run schools in those same camps since 2020. They do exist. I affirm the cycle of violence is not inborn or inevitable. A lot of Americans write it off. Oh, that's just what they do. Yes, the children who saw their parents hacked to death often come to our schools wanting to go back and get revenge, but I can tell you, with an education, they gain character, hope, and vision, and they want to go back to rebuild. What must happen? Nigeria has long been strangled by radical Islamists, predatory extraction, globalist meddling, and institutional corruption. Working with the Nigerian government to end the genocide is like working with the Third Reich to end the Holocaust. They smile and spin as they wait for Trump to leave office. Since CPC designation, killing and impunity have only gotten worse. Sanctions will not work. Visa bans will not work. They're ideologues, and they'll just pivot east. Intentional denial of recognition and aid to displaced people, intentional denial of recognition and aid in this circumstance meets the legal standard of genocide. This is provable. Indict the Tinubu administration. Arrest them. They're guilty of genocide. And it's provable. Conduct a valid census and evidentiary briefing of the displaced. They are our witnesses to genocide and they need help. Investigate the Sultan of Sokoto as a terror sponsor. Circumstantial evidence demands it. We know where the militant camps are. Wipe them out. Bring the enablers to justice. Demand the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and other prisoners of conscience. Offer asylum protection to them and others threatened by this regime. Ensure a free election in 2027. It can be done for the cost of a Tomahawk missile volley. Tinubu was declared the winner with less than 9 million votes in a nation of 230 million. A free election changes everything. Let the people vote on a new constitution and self-determination. Like so many other British colonial contraptions designed to fail, separation is likely inevitable, and it is just. The time is now. Nigeria is at a crossroads. It will become either a peaceful, prosperous ally or a massive launchpad for global jihad. There is no going back to the status quo. If the world turns away after this unprecedented scrutiny, the backlash will be bloody and absolute. The window is closing. We must call this what it is and intervene now, or the current genocide will grow and draw more innocent blood, not just there, but here in the United States.
I'm challenging the hegemonic behaviors of the Fulani society in Nigeria. The attitude of Fulanis are not acceptable in Nigeria. The Fulani has the hegemonic attitude of supremacy, dominant, ruling, preeminence, and the obristic behaviors of the Fulanis will no longer be acceptable by the indigenous people of Nigeria. Why? Because the attitude, the actions, the body language of His Excellency Sultan of Sokoto, it seems is in harmony, is in conjunction with the Fulanization that is going on in Nigeria through his actions. Although he has made many speeches to discredit the killings in the amnesty news I read, he disagreed, he rebuked the killings. But in the same speech, he was still agitating for the leniency for the Boko Haram people. He was saying in that speech that the tactics of the Nigerian army is too harsh on the Boko Haram. So this shows that His Excellency is in harmony with the killings going on in Nigeria. Also, in one of his speech, he made mention clearly that the Boko Haram are doing the work of Allah. So, and what is the work of Allah? Is it killing human beings for the sake of Fulani Islamic ideology? Because the Fulani Islamic ideology means whenever you kill for Allah, 72 virgins are waiting for you upstairs. So, in this situation, whosoever that kills for Allah, we see that person as a beast. In my opinion, I see the Fulanis as a pain in the neck of Nigerians, pain in the neck of the indigenous people of Nigeria. In this situation, I want you guys to join me in the peaceful protest that will be coming this year. On title, the theme is Anti-Fulani Jihadist Movement in Nigeria. We, the citizens, the indigenous people of Nigeria, we have to stand up to defend our land, because we, the indigenous people, we have nowhere to go if Nigeria busts today. The Fulanis have another country to go to today if Nigeria busted today. If the Fulanis don't have another places as well, they will not do what they're doing today. For example, whosoever that challenge the government, whosoever that destroy governmental property, whosoever that kill soldiers, whosoever that destroy army barracks, whosoever that destroy police barracks, whosoever that destroy government schools, government hospitals, government status, that person is fighting the government. That is just the truth, and that is the symbol of absolute terrorism. So in this situation, those people need to be dealt with iron hand. So there is nothing like prodigal son terrorists anymore from today, and we are giving this warning to the Chief of Defense Staff, Oloyede, to come and apologize to Nigerians for that statement. So we need to rebook this. Fellow Nigerians, I want you to join me in the forthcoming peaceful protest by the indigenous people of Nigeria to compel the Fulanis to eat humble pie. The Fulani obristic behavior, we need to stop it together. And how can we stop it? You need to join me on this peaceful protest for us to tell the government, the whole world, that the Fulanis are the pain in the neck of all Nigerians. The Nigerians are thinking of how to move forward when we are thinking of how to integrate Nigeria, for Nigeria to compete with the Western world. The Fulanis are thinking of how to Islamize Nigeria. You could see our mentalities are quite different. Our cultures are different. Our traditions are different. Our thoughts are different. Nigeria can never be better than this. I have seen it. I started my advocacy with One Nigeria over 10 years ago. But today, I stick to Yoruba sovereign independent nation as the only alternative way. I therefore submit to fellow Nigerians, join me for the activism for Yoruba sovereign independent nation, aka Yoruba nation. That is the only way forward. I now submit to fellow Nigerians and Nigerian government under the presidency of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Hi, Samson Akinola. I want to take Yoruba people out of Nigeria, because Nigeria is a clueless nation. With the Fulanis, Nigeria can never be better, because Nigerians are acting as beasts into all indigenous people of Nigeria. So we cannot coexist with the beasts in Nigeria. Whosoever that could kill human being because of simple religion is a beast. Whosoever that could kidnap people after collecting ransom and still kill the victim is a beast. Whosoever that could kill pregnant woman is a beast. Whosoever that could kill elderly people is a beast. Whosoever that could kill our gallant soldiers, destroy army barracks, destroy police stations, destroy hospitals, destroy schools, they are beasts, they are pure terrorists, and they must be killed. Therefore, today, I submit to Nigeria. Let my people go. I want to take the Yoruba people out of Nigeria. Nigeria is not a nation that we have focus on anymore because of the Fulanis. The Fulanis are the major problem of Nigeria, and Yoruba people want to exit. So permit me, ladies and gentlemen, I submit to you, Yoruba sovereign independent nation is the only way out, aka Yoruba nation. Let my people go. Sultan of Sokoto, let my people go. The indigenous people of Yoruba will submit to Sultan of Sokoto and Nigerian government that we want to exit Nigeria because of the Fulani, the beast. We cannot coexist. We cannot live peacefully with Fulani, the beast who killed the Southerners Muslims. In Southwest, we have multi-religions. Therefore, I submit to fellow Nigerians, let my people go, Yoruba Nation now.
Good day to our viewers all over the world and welcome back to Local Journal. We had the way the international community are describing the whole thing going on in Nigeria, and thank God it's getting a global recognition and getting global attention. The fact that even the USA is attending to this issue and on top of this matter is what Nigerians could be happy for, because the whole thing going on in this country I don't really understand. I don't know the agenda behind the scene to kind of capture this country by some few elements. I don't know what they're trying to achieve, but this country has never been in peace for the past 2 decades now, and everyone is doing to ensure that peace return and normalcy return all prove abortive. And the best thing now everyone has to be talking about is for the intervention of the world powers, because if this whole thing continues like this, Nigeria is going to be a safe haven that will breed the next jihadists and extremists that will invade the world and make this world full of chaos and unpeaceful and chaotic. And that's the reason why all hands needs to be on deck to ensure that this whole thing that is going on, these monsters that are being breeded in Nigeria, that are being groomed in Nigeria, are put in their places. Because if we continue like this, it might be too late, and when it's too late, it's going to be very difficult to curtail and put these people in their places. And in the same vein, the government has not been doing enough to kind of curb this whole menace. The central government and the government of Nigeria, they are not doing anything. That's what they are doing is not enough, and it's just shown that they are incompetent and they are not capable of kind of finishing or probably maybe subduing these people. You can see how the government is acting as if they are subservient to some of these people that are causing chaos in this country. You can see that Nigerians are losing their lives on a daily basis. Even the military are being used as sacrificial lamb in some of this battle. And you can see that these people keep on growing, their wings keep on growing the more. We need the intervention, we need the help, we need the assistance of this world power to come into this country, just like Michael Arnold is a kind of amplifying it and making the world to know about the situation of Nigeria. They should come as soon as possible, as fast as possible, to help us solve this problem and to help us tame these people, these extremists that we are having in this country. If not, this country might be a story, might be history tomorrow, and we might not have a place to call our country tomorrow. And this is the more reason why other people are saying that it is better for Nigeria to be broken into segments so that people with the same or like ideology can live together and they can cohabit, they can coexist together without having any issue and live in peace together. And that's the reason why we need that this very moment. This is my opinion. Drop what you think about this in the comment section. And if today is your first time to visit our channel, please kindly like, share, and subscribe to our channel.